What's up everyone, Elmi here. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the remake of Resident Evil 2, which finally came out on the Xbox One and the PS4. So I had a game night recently with some friends, and we were playing a lot of horror games, and just seeing Resident Evil 2 now, this version of it, it's gotten me pretty nostalgic, when because I'm thinking back to the 1998, the original Resident Evil 2, which came out on the PlayStation and on the N64. And so I decided today we go back to the 90s and look into the commercials for the original Resident Evil 2. And so there have been quite a few of them on YouTube, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at what we got. Okay, so here's an American commercial for it. Maybe it's something that I'll remember, because this game came out when I was like about 5 or 6 years old. So yeah, a long time ago. So let's dive right in. Resident Evil 2 commercial. Let's do this.
Backup! A rookie cop facing unspeakable evil. There's something really wrong here. These things aren't dying. I just blasted this thing, and it's still alive. One of the most anticipated games of 1998. Resident Evil 2. If the suspense doesn't kill you, something else will. Everyone's gonna die.
Oh, that was awesome. Wow, I like how they mixed in like live action zombies with this. Yeah, I think I thought that was a pretty nice touch. And but you could feel this truly felt like a 90s commercial. Seriously, like this takes me back. Now, I did some research, and apparently the late George Romero, who was the director of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, all of those awesome zombie movies. He was basically the grandfather of the zombie genre. And he directed a few commercials for Resident Evil 2. And so I came across a couple of them on here as well. Let's take a look at one. Let's see. All right, here we go. George A. Romero commercial for Resident Evil 2. Okay, live action. Okay, is that supposed to be Leon? Whoa. Oh, Claire. All right. Whoa. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing this one was released in Japan, because the reason why I say that is because in Japan they don't call the Resident Evil games they don't call it Resident Evil. Instead, they call it Biohazard. Yeah. So yeah, pretty interesting difference. Now it's pretty cool how George Romero directed a commercial for this, because because I've actually met him almost 10 years ago at a flashback weekend, and he I tell you, he was just such a nice guy. He was a really fun person to talk to. You could tell he just really loved making these movies. He was just he was really amazing guy. And I was pretty sad when he passed on, because he was a real legend when it came to the horror genre. All right, so let's take a look at another one. This one is called Resident Evil 2 Game.com. Okay, let's try this one. All right, here we go.
Go on. You know what it's like to get it right between the eyes?
What the?
See the juice squirt out of your family like the 4th of July? Oh, ever hear a scream so loud it scrambled your intestines? And the burning light right before the fall!
Only a pro could do this. Recognize him?
That's the one!
Gamecom Pocket Pro, the only portable cartridge system that plays Resident Evil 2.
Huh. So they made the Resident Evil 2 portable. Yeah, I've heard that they actually made Resident Evil 2 part of Game Boy. They were trying to make it available for the Game Boy, but didn't pan out very well. I don't know. Resident Evil just seems like the kind of thing you would want to play at home rather than just play on a mobile device. And as far as Gamecom, can't say I'm too familiar with it, because I was always because as a kid I was always more into the Game Boy. Now, my first experience with Resident Evil with the Resident Evil franchise actually came from when I saw my babysitter playing Resident Evil 2 when I was 6 years old. Yes, 6 years old, and I seen. He was playing as Claire and walking down the streets, and there were a bunch of people making groaning sounds and walking towards her. They have their hands, like reaching out at her. I'm like, whoa, what is going on with these people? What are they doing? And he explained to me that they were zombies. Yeah, so Resident Evil 2, it introduced me to the whole concept of zombies. And I've always liked zombies ever since. I wasn't really too scared of this, but I can't say the same about Resident Evil 3 when I saw Nemesis. Oh, yeah, he's terrifying. And so when I became a teenager and I decided to play the games for myself, I was just like, wow, like really fascinating, storytelling and the suspense and the terror. That was phenomenal. Now, several people have asked me what my opinions are as far as the Resident Evil movies. As for the live action ones that were mostly made by Paul W.S. Anderson, not too big of a fan on those, especially the sequels. I mean, the first one was just okay at best. But the rest of them, it just feels like it was based on Resident Evil fan fiction than the actual games. Unlike the animated films, these are fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, and also I should also point out that Resident Evil Apocalypse, as far as sequels, Resident Evil Apocalypse, I kind of like how it featured elements of Resident Evil 3. They finally brought Nemesis to the big screen. But it still had a lot of flaws. It's supposedly this Resident Evil Apocalypse was supposed to take place in the fictional town of Raccoon City, like in the games. But they featured way too many buildings from Toronto. The movie was filmed there, yeah. But they made it way too obvious. They even featured, the city hall of Toronto during the last few scenes of the film. I mean, it's like, come on, guys. So, hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to the Resident Evil 2 1988 commercials. Hit that like button if you did, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any suggestions of what I should check out in the future, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Fireball.